Hey guys, it's Joette with BalloonCoach.com, and I'm so excited to have Mallory back. If you didn't see part one, you'll want to check that replay out where she had some dynamic information on 5 mistakes that most balloon business and events owners make on their websites. Such great information and conversation that happened that now Mallory is back for part 2 to help our folks who have larger businesses, have teams, or also just want to add some extra clarity for their customers and what services you offer, how to purchase and streamline the process. What I'm excited is she's going to show you behind the scenes of how Good Shuffle can work along with your website. And I know from a friend here in Polk County, Florida, that has a rental company where she rents tables and chairs. Absolutely loves Good Shuffle. We were at a networking event several months ago, and she was showing me on her phone, like, this is how my contract comes in. While I'm just sitting at dinner, my customers can come and purchase from me. The Good Shuffle checks to see if I have the inventory available, and it's amazing. And she could say nothing but good things. And then Mallory spoke at an event a couple of months later, and so it was really neat to see how that works. So I knew you guys would want to know. And Mallory, I'm going to let you take it away, and then we'll pop in with questions as needed. So thanks for taking time out today to show us behind the scenes of how your program can help enhance our lives and save us some time.
Of course, I am so pleased to be back with you today, Joette. Good Shuffle Pro is built specifically for event companies. So many of us on the team, myself included, spent a lot of time in the industry. So not only do we understand this event technology really well, but we have a heart for event businesses, helping them streamline and scale their operations, especially in the midst of this busyness and chaos, this backlog of events that is popping up. We want to help event companies be more effective, more efficient, and take advantage of all of these opportunities ahead of them. I have a bit of an entrepreneurial background myself. My parents are both small business owners, and so I've seen how technology has helped them really maximize the efficiency of their team and ultimately bring in more revenue for their business. So we talked a little bit yesterday about the 5 best practices for event websites. Here is a brief synopsis of what we touched on. A lot of what I talk about today in Good Shuffle Pro being a really all-in-one solution for you really brings these themes throughout how we operate as a technology company, as we help you promote and grow your business. So feel free to circle back for a deeper dive into these tips. Joette and I had a great conversation, and the replay is available on her YouTube page. And we became experts in websites because our product was built to work with your existing website. So Good Shuffle Pro is an all-in-one software to manage inventory, quotes, contracts, communication with your team and clients. And part of this is also building a wonderful client experience for you. So we have this wonderful integration where all of your inventory, which includes not only your products, but your service offerings as well. You can promote those on your existing website. We want you to be able to showcase your own unique brand, look, and feel. So rather than a solution that just keeps specific templates or forcing you to, for us to host your site, we give you the freedom and flexibility to design a website that works for you, your business, and your brand. And we just plug right into it. So folks can jump into your website, see your different products and services that you offer, that will immediately submit and create a new proposal for you in Good Shuffle Pro. The bonus is you get the freedom and flexibility to pick who you want to work with. So you have the opportunity to double check and make sure you have enough inventory, upsell your client if it's appropriate, really keep you in the driver's seat for how this contract or how this event rolls out for the clients. And then, of course, we're managing all of the back end for you as well. So the product itself is going to take you, as I say, from concept to completion. You're going to be able to, like I said, promote your events on your website. As we talked about yesterday, while social media is great for engaging with clients and building a sense of community, when it comes to booking business, folks are doing that through your website. So that's why it's so important. And we want to seamlessly integrate so that you've got your quotes and contracts, your inventory management, all of your communication and details streamlined in one software, which is what Good Shuffle Pro provides. Now I'm going to jump into a quick demo today. I wanted to highlight a few of the themes that we noticed. We just got back from the special event in Anaheim. And when people are talking to us about technology, they're wanting to find ways to capitalize on this busy season, right? If you have so many quotes and requests coming in that you don't have an effective way to manage them and get back to clients quickly, event technology like Good Shuffle Pro may be for you. There's a desire to have tools that are intuitive, and our product team is so talented at creating a platform that is easily accessible to folks. We don't have these huge ramp up periods where the program takes a long time to learn, or there's, all of these training sessions. We find that most folks can jump right into Good Shuffle Pro. Plus, with our team, you get the support of industry professionals. So I already mentioned that I spent about 10 years in the biz before joining Good Shuffle Pro, but so many of us have spent time in the industry as well. So we're doing more than explaining how the technology works. We really want to get to know your business and give you confidence that you are doing it the right way, which only means that you have the tools that you need in order to achieve your vision for your company. So Joette, I'm going to pivot now and jump into kind of a customer journey that we'll go on together. Is there anything before I jump in that I know you work so closely with professionals that we want to make sure that we touch on today?
Yeah. So, one of the things is somebody just said, can you define support about the 30 minutes a month?
Absolutely. So we actually have unlimited training and support with Good Shuffle Pro. So that includes access to training videos, tutorials. Our customer success team has done all sorts of great gifts in explaining the product. You have access to that 24/7. You also have access to our team for live support, and that comes in a couple of different forms. So you can chat with our team online. Those are great for quick questions like, hey, I was on this demo with Mallory today and she showed me how to build a balloon recipe, but I'm not sure how to do it. And you have the ability to set up one-on-one Zoom trainings as well. And that can be with a specific department. If you have a team where we need to do a sales focused training versus an operations focused training, or coaching you as a business owner one-on-one how to use the software.
Okay. And so, just they had heard that 30 minutes a month. Is that something specific, or was that a misunderstanding that there's something being 30 minutes a month?
So there's no 30 minutes a month cap. Your training and support with Good Shuffle Pro is included in your subscription and unlimited with the subscription as well.
Okay, so I can have that unlimited live chat with somebody and getting things fixed.
Absolutely.
All right. So what one of our participants is saying is that the current program she has, she only gets 30 minutes a month. So
Gotcha.
being able to have that unlimited sounds very helpful.
Yeah, that might be, I don't know if that was like an assumption coming in, but yes, Good Shuffle Pro is able to even offer that, right? Because it's such an easy program. So we are here when you need us. We find that so many folks are able to get to know the software on their own. And so that's what gives us the ability to do unlimited training and support, is most folks don't require hours and hours of our time because the software is so easy to use.
That's awesome. Thank you. And so, yeah, for those of you guys who are on today, if there's any specific questions you have about her program, let us know. But I think what people want to see is just behind the scenes, like how does it work and how do they know if it's the right system for them?
Absolutely. So I'll go over, one of many scenarios today. We're actually going to plan a baby shower together in my product demo, take a look at the full customer journey. But the best way to try out these Good Shuffle Pro is to get hands-on with the software. So I can give you access to a free account, a real account quote for 2 weeks for you to jump in, kick the tires. And the best news about our trial is that it's actually access to a real account. So if you decide you like it, you don't have to play in a sandbox and then do everything all over again. The minute you sign up for Good Shuffle Pro is your real account. So you can even start sending quotes and contracts the same day.
That's wonderful. And are you going to give us a link now or later to how they get
I
that?
will give it at the end of the demo and be sure to link it in as well. Although, you know what? I can go ahead, Joette, and I will drop in that sign up
Drop it
link
into the
to
chat for
the
folks.
chat.
And then the other question is within your program, some of the tools that some of our Balloon Boss Mastermind members use currently is their customer management system, sends out the quotes, has the follow-up emails. But in addition to that, part of the service that it's attached is for their management of their team. And so it has like their time clock for them to clock in and out and be able to track that. Is that a feature that Good Shuffle offers or no?
So the clock in and clock out isn't a part of Good Shuffle Pro right now. We're always expanding, our feature set. So someone may be watching this recording back months from now, and it may be a feature that we roll out and have. What Good Shuffle Pro does offer, which I have found unique in the companies that I've worked with, is something that you and I talked about, Joette, is when it comes to estimating and putting estimates together for clients, being able to include that employee time going into the balloon fill and construction setup on site into your costs. I think even in our webinar yesterday, you mentioned how that portion of pricing is often left out of the equation. And we want to make sure when you're getting quotes out to clients, A, you can do that quickly, and B, you can do it as accurately as possible.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the demo, and I think we're ready to go behind the scenes.
That sounds great. So we're going to start on our dashboard where you'll get a sense of all of the different types of information that Good Shuffle Pro can track, from what's upcoming and where those events are happening, to clients who owe you money, unread emails from your clients, and your tasks. We beautifully color code your dashboard so it's easy to understand the opportunities for you that lie ahead, and also give you easy to understand dashboards to understand how you're earning your revenue as well. There's all sorts of reports that you can dive deeper into the performance of your inventory, your company, your services, but these are just some of the high, quick level reports that you can see in one place. Now, I know, Joette, for some of your clients, either as they're growing, right, they may borrow or sub-rent inventory to supplement their own, or on the other end, when they're big and getting so much business, may want to take on additional events and don't have enough of their own inventory. So we can track those sub-rentals for your clients so that they have a very specific look at how many of a particular product is needed or coming in and out on a given date. And then, of course, being able to manage that conflict detection to make sure you have a finger on the pulse at all times of where your inventory is going, when it's being checked in, when it's available, when it may be in jeopardy of overbooking. And that we're going to track throughout the entire sales process. So when inquiries come in from the website, as quotes and proposals are sent out to clients, and of course, as contracts get signed and revised.
Love it.
So let's go ahead. I actually have a baby niece or nephew on the way here in a couple months. I'm really excited. And so one of the things I'm doing right now is planning a baby shower for my sister-in-law. So let's go on a journey as if I am the client. I'm seeking out some products and services for this shower. So you, as your vendor in the account, in your Good Shuffle Pro account, will have all of your products and services here in your Good Shuffle account, right? So this is going to be everything from your balloon arches to any of the inventory that you have, right? So let's say, I know a popular item for showers is these boho wicker peacock chairs, a great picture moment for mommy to be as she's opening presents or taking photos with guests. And so you can see here, I've got 2 in my inventory. I'm even able to track when one has been set aside. Maybe another bride got a little clumsy, knocked it over, it got broken, whatever. So we're giving you that real-time availability. And then, as we talked about, you have the option to link these products and services on the website. And so you can style this however you want to. Vendors, do not be do not feel like just how I'm showing it today is the only way it can be stylized. There's tons of ways that this can fit your event. This is my demo site here, which is chock full of great ideas of how you can put your products and services together and do that either in a catalog setting, right, where folks can find your inventory and add it to a list of products that they're interested in getting from you. But one of the things we also talked about is the importance of keeping your website fresh. And one of the ways to do that is for a blog. So maybe I'm searching Pinterest or Instagram or Google even for ideas, and I want to celebrate a baby boy on the way. I land on a vendor's website and I'm excited by all of these photos that they're showcasing with ideas for this shower. Now, this, Joette, is something that I find that many clients are already doing really well, is building that excitement of, oh my gosh, yes, look at these fun garlands and backdrops and peacock wicker chairs. I want all of these things. The next action that a client wants to take is often where the disconnect occurs, and that's lacking a call to action. Good Shuffle Pro makes that call to action very clear. We can link with things like your blog or other pages on your website to break down that vision. So I've fallen in love with all of these photos. And now, as I'm browsing for my sister-in-law shower, I can see clearly the products and services that this vendor offers. And I still have the flexibility to pick and choose what I want. Right? Maybe I prefer the baby blocks over the screen. Maybe I want a custom garland over something that's pre-built. I have the ability to kind of pick and choose everything that I need here and add these items to my wish list.
I love the wish list. That's so nice.
Yeah. And these can always be customized, right? We want you to have the opportunity, like I said, to upsell clients, work with clients on creating a unique vision for them. Think right now, though, about how and when you are shopping. You have a full workday. So often if you're planning a party for someone else, you're doing that first thing in the morning before the day gets too busy, or after hours right before you go to bed. And a call to action like a call me on the website, that's great, but only when you're available to answer the phone. And that's not possible 24/7. So something like the wish list enables your client to mark this off their checklist, right? Hey, here are the things that I want for my sister-in-law's baby shower. I can give you the date and the time of when things are happening. And of course, drop in information on who I am and where my event is taking place. Once I send this list off to you, the vendor, will receive an email notification right away. And of course, we'll confirm with the client that their wish list has been received, so they can rest assured that you'll be in touch with them shortly. You as the vendor will receive an email like this new wish list submission. And unlike a generic form that will just say, okay, a client reached out, here's the date and time of their event, Good Shuffle Pro is actually creating a new proposal, quote, contract ready for you to go. It can be branded to meet the needs of your company, contain photos, and generally continue to build that excitement for the client. With giving you the option to approve this before sending it out to the client, you can see here we're also tracking your inventory, which gives you the ability to double check and make sure that you have enough inventory before it gets sent out to the client. Now, Joette, one of the things that we've talked about, and I'm sure everyone is really aware of, is there's a huge difference, right, in inventory that's going out temporarily for an event versus like a balloon bouquet that I'm sending to maybe a mom for Mother's Day or a grad for graduation. An e-commerce solution is perfect for those bouquets because we need an instant book and we'll fulfill. But for events, when items are coming in and out, when the scope is changing all the time, this ability to give your vendors the opportunity to approve quotes to go out actually keeps them in the driver's seat. Think about an e-commerce site. What an e-commerce site is going to do is be first come, first serve. And so what if these wish lists have been submitted by Leslie and Monica within minutes of each other? And I pop this open and Leslie's event happens to be a bigger budget. Maybe she's a VIP client, or frankly, maybe she's just closer and easier to work with, right? There's a lot that goes into deciding who you do business with, who you want to contract with, and Good Shuffle Pro is giving you that flexibility.
So what I hear you saying is, in this case, before that quote goes out, you can choose whether or not the quote goes out rather than it just
Exactly.
automatically going, correct?
Exactly. Yep. And so I may pop this open with Leslie back and forth. I may pop into the messages tab where I can see all of my emails back and forth with Leslie. Hey, are you still interested? Maybe I've reached out a couple of times and she's like, not gotten back to me. So I can always remove the holds that she has on inventory. I also have the option, and this is where the kind of sales skill comes in. You as a business owner or someone on your sales team, maybe Leslie's like easygoing and she knows she wants a wicker chair, but she doesn't necessarily need a particular style. You could always swap inventory in or out for one another, right? Using your inventory is always going to be the better choice before sub-renting this from somebody else because you already own it. And you can even go in here and add a line item discount if you need to, so that you don't, so that you can reward the client, right, for giving, being a little bit flexible on which chair that they rented from you.
Cool.
So now that I have all of this situated with Leslie's contract, let's hop back into Monica's event where I'm going in and I'm perfecting the final details before sending this off to her. Now, let's say I have a chat with Monica. She wants a 13-foot garland, and we ultimately want to decide that she wants us to customize this, that we're going to add some additional flair to her garland, and so the cost may change. You can see, right, that I actually have this price based on a number of feet for the garland and the time that I expect for this to go into it. But that recipe, those components are hidden from the client. So if Monica is a, high touch client that I think is going to need a little bit more time, or the design that I'm making for her is a little bit more intricate, I can always go in here and change the price or change the recipe, right? Maybe instead of 3 hours, I think this is going to take me 4. And you'll notice that that automatically adjusts what we're charging the client without exposing that level of detail. You can also set Good Shuffle Pro up to remind you of certain details or pieces that go with your items. Like if I'm sending out a candle holder, I need to bring the tea lights. You have complete control of what the client sees versus what is just internal to you, the business owner, or just your team. Joette, any other examples you can think of walking through before we send this off to the client and walk through the client experience?
Okay, so a question said is, does Good Shuffle text with clients or is it only email based?
It is email based. So that's going to create, like when we send out a contract to the client, that secure communication and enable us to track, like on the logs tab, when emails are read by the client, when they've responded, and making sure that the email is securely going to the client and no one else.
Cool. It's just, and there are some programs out there that people have been using that do the text feature. So that's why they are asking on that.
Yeah, again, that's not to say that wouldn't be something that rolls out in the future, but when I send this contract out to the client, one of the things that we track is the IP address where the email is being opened, and that's what's creating that legally bound agreement between you and the client, is we know it's gone to this particular recipient at this particular IP address.
The other question is do you find that you have difficulties with a lot of things going into people's spam? One thing we've noticed over the last several months is that it seems like there's a higher rate of people in general getting, I mean, like even me personally, people that I know that their stuff is coming to my junk box or I'm going to their junk box. So I didn't know if there's certain things that you guys have done to help that from happening, or, tips that you have for people in that situation.
Yeah, our technologists take email deliverability very seriously. So we actually, to get a little technical, separate all of these client messages out. So our email deliverability is spot on. And we don't find that folks are ending up in like junk and spam. We find that our emails, or the emails to quotes going through to clients, are delivered and hitting people's inboxes.
Excellent. And I know for me, I always just told people through, like in the quote process, even at the beginning, like, hey, check, you'll be getting an email from me. Check this one, whitelist me, look in junk. Because for me, with the word party in it, oftentimes I would go to spam because of that word being like a
Yeah,
misprint.
there's a lot that our technologists do behind the scenes to keep our deliverability scores high and make sure that those emails are hitting people's inbox. We also have tools here for you to see like when emails have been delivered to the clients and when they've been opened, so that you can keep an eye on those details as well.
Excellent. I don't see any other questions currently, so you can continue to move on.
Perfect. So let's put ourselves back in my shoes as if I am the client receiving this beautiful quote and contract from EventCo. Again, all of this can be branded to fit your brand, your look and feel. You can change the colors, pick what information appears here to create that seamless branded experience for clients. I'm going to shrink my screen down too, so you can see how beautifully this will show up on a client's cell phone or mobile device. They have the option to still click in and see photos, and it's so simple for them to move forward. All they have to do is approve that pricing. We immediately take them to the terms and conditions and sign your contract. Keep in mind that for those teams that may have a different set of terms for weddings versus showers, or private clients versus corporates, these terms and conditions and payment policies can be set up differently from client to client and even auto apply. Again, when we think about training and scaling teams, having the ability for you as a business owner or operator to train the software means that you're spending less hands-on time training new employees. The convenience for your client here is unparalleled. Over half the contracts sent through Good Shuffle are signed and deposit paid within 5 minutes or less. We give you a lot of options as far as allowing credit card payments or bank transfers. You can choose to pass along processing fees to your client if you want to, and it's allowed in your state. And then clients can even auto pay their balance, which totally puts this on autopilot for you and the client. So tons of automation here, taking the paperwork off the plate of your team and you as business owners. You'll notice that when we jump back into the vendor side, that we've already updated this to contract signed. We've logged the payment information here, and we've actually teed up an email to send on this date, reminding the client of their pre-authorized amount.
Are you able to show the deposit option, or like if they're doing a retainer?
So those are all set up in the vendor's account settings. So you can have multiple versions of that. So for example, if I'm starting a new contract with, let's say I work with Topanga at Pembroke a lot for their alumni events, you'll see that her contracts and payment policies, she's tax exempt. So all of that has auto applied. If I ever need to make a change, I can have preset payment policies that I can always swap out on the fly if I need to.
And
All
then
of, Mhm.
And you're able to put things out, like if you do have somebody that's paying over time, you're able to preset that.
So this is a live link. This payment link is a live link from your clients. So if they want to make additional payments, they can go in here at any time. This is a live link. They can choose to make some payments by credit card, some by e-check, and all of this will automatically send the client a receipt for payment and you a notification that an additional payment has been made.
And with their balance, is there an auto draft option, or is it that they have to go in and physically do it?
So yeah, that's what I was saying. So they can either opt in to auto pay their remaining balance. If they don't do that, Good Shovel Pro will send out automated reminders to your clients so you don't have to chase that balance down.
Gotcha. The
Taking
response is nice.
Awesome. Taking away as much of that admin work as possible, right? When we talk about what to automate versus what to keep people involved in, this is the kind of transactional work that we want to put on autopilot. When it comes to working with clients on executing a vision or following up folks to upsell, those are the types of things that you as owners, operators, salespeople are so skilled at, and why you got into this industry, right? Is working with the clients and bringing their vision to life. So the more Good Shuffle Pro can help you put these types of transactions on auto drive, the more time you have in your creative process. So now that my contract has been signed, the client has paid their deposit, a couple of things can happen next depending on what the size of your team is and how your process goes. So if there's anyone else that you need to loop in from the team, sometimes that goes from sales to bringing in a project manager, or sometimes that goes from sales to fulfillment, where I would want to tap in somebody from the warehouse or the construction side in order to get everything organized for the clients. We do have custom permissions based on the needs of your team. So you as a business owner controls who gets access, whether they have access to everything. We call those folks full users because they need a full scope of what's happening, what's going on, client management, edits to the contract, making notes for the team. And then we also have what's called a limited user, where those folks see a limited view of Good Shuffle, right? The contract, billing, and logs tab are all removed from their view. They just see this fulfillment and files tab here. What this enables you to do is work as a team to track all of the details for an event. So anything that the client has given insight wise, I can track as for the team. And you can even customize what stages of your fulfillment process you want to track. So for some folks, that's, hey, yeah, we've got everything loaded up. So we've dropped everything off, and eventually at pickup, we don't leave anything behind. Other folks will use this as like the first column being, yes, this is approved by the client. I know, Joette, when I was in the industry, I was always the client who was like, yeah, we're good to go on the contract, but like only this portion of the contract is actually approved. I'm still waiting on the concept for this other thing. So that can give clarity and a heads up to, hey, I as the salesperson am letting the fulfillment team know, okay, go ahead and start ordering and getting started on this portion of the contract, but whoa, you've got to wait on this other portion. Then the fulfillment team can confirm, yep, we've gone ahead, we've accepted it, it's in production, and then checking off when it's good to go. What this does is standardize your process and track who is doing what. So there's no finger pointing between teammates of somebody ordering something too far in advance, ordering something before it was approved, because we've got a running list of what everyone is doing at each stage.
Cool. One of our members who's on has a large team, and different people have different responsibilities within her program. So a couple of questions that she has is, are there tags to track the type of events? So like when you're putting this in, are you able to tag things like that this is a college event, this is a corporate event, it's a social or a wedding or a baby shower, so that like things can kind of be grouped in those different categories? As that kind of tagging exists within your program?
It does, yes. And we actually have a report on the dashboard too that will break down your revenue by those different event types.
And so you do have that sales report that you can then look at and see that in those different levels.
Yes.
Cool. And then does everyone on the team have access to all of the information, or are you able to navigate that so that only some people have access to certain things?
Yeah, so that's what I was explaining where like salespeople on the team, you would want them to have access to all the tabs because they are interfacing with clients, putting out contracts, editing them, and would need to see the full scope. We have limited users, which are great for like warehouse or employees that are just working like on the logistics or back end, where they only see that fulfillment and files tab.
Excellent. Is there an app that you can use on the phone so that, like, while she's out in the field or her crew's out in the field, that they can actually look through it on an app on the phone?
Everything can be accessed from a phone. It's not going to be a separate app right at this time, but like when we were at TSE, we were demoing the product off of our cell phones and tablets. This is meant for your folks to take this into the field. Think about onto a walkthrough with a client where those salespeople can put their notes straight away into Good Shuffle, and we're not waiting for the salesperson to write down all their notes, then get back in front of their computer and then get things in. It's all updated in real time.
And,
Plus, go ahead.
and so instead of it being an app, it's just that you're accessing the website from your phone, correct?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and I know that my friend here locally that has the event rental company, she was showing me on her phone everything that was going on and absolutely loved it. So it seemed like it was very user friendly and easier to use.
Absolutely. And think about a banking app, right? What you can do on that app versus the full website. Apps are a bit of a watered down version of what you're able to do on the web. So the great thing about Good Shuffle being completely agnostic or it doesn't matter what device you're on, you have access to all the features. It's all responsive. So it's convenient and easy for you to use.
Um, let's see. She says she loves your workflow. Um, where can we see the images that are sent to or from the client? So, like, if the client sends something to us, where would they see that at?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different places that occurs. So if a client is responding to you, like you sent them a quote and they're replying back with, hey, actually, I was thinking along the lines of something more like this, you'll get an email like you normally would. What I also love about that is Good Shuffle will also automatically save those images to the files tab. So you'll have access to them in two places. You'll see them both on your email, right? Just like you normally would. And you have the ability to keep all of the details for the event in one place, which I really love because it keeps you from tracking, having to click into all of these different tabs and places to see that information. All of the details for the event are here in one place. Now, I also want to point out that this is a differentiator with the way that we track client communication as a CRM. A typical CRM, if you are working with me, is going to show us all of the emails that we've ever exchanged back and forth. The way Good Shuffle Pro works is we actually separate that communication from event to event. So back to my example, if I'm working with you on a baby shower for my sister-in-law, and I'm working with you on a Mother's Day brunch that I'm hosting, all of the emails related to the Mother's Day brunch will exist in another project in Good Shuffle. All of the messages back and forth regards to this baby shower are all saved in this, as we call, project chat. So you can see the client, as the client emailed this vendor back, I included an image here. So this is saved in the project chat. And when we exit from this screen, you'll see that we also have automatically saved the image here in the files tab too.
Excellent. So, a couple of other questions are: does your program integrate communication with Facebook or Instagram, or is it only email based?
It's email based.
So, if we were wanting to take communication from Facebook and Instagram, we would just need to have it where we've got like a capture form on there that they're going to the website to fill out the information, correct?
Yeah, and that's where I would, when we talk with when we talk with vendors about training, working with clients, even we will sometimes do initial outreach on like Facebook or Instagram, but we quickly want to funnel that communication into one stream. We love that email can be tracked easily. If you're communicating with clients, sometimes by text, sometimes by email, sometimes by Instagram, that's a lot of different opportunities for that communication to get missed. So it's training clients to come back to this same channel so that all of that back and forth is not only streamlined in one place and keeps both you and the client on the same page so that nothing gets missed, but then you also have that record and that breakdown of all of the event details and that communication here. So if you ever need to refer back to everything, again, you've got that log.
Excellent. So a couple more questions is the accounting on your program set up as accrual based or invoice paid accounting?
You get to pick. So we are set up for both cash and accrual reporting so that you can pick however you run your business.
Excellent, because many people are realizing that the accrual is the best way to really be able to see how profitable they're being in a month and all of
Exactly.
that. So
Yep.
it's nice that they can choose which system works best for them.
Absolutely. And you'll see that we even detail out, in businesses like this in particular, where there's some complexity to taxes in that product rentals may get taxed, but services don't. Some packages do, but your delivery logistics might not. Good Shuffle Pro is powerful enough to handle all of those intricacies. And for those states with maybe a more complicated tax structure, like a state, county, local, city tax, we can keep track of all of that as well. And it's once you get your taxes set up in your account settings, those will automatically apply based on where your event is taking place.
Excellent. It's a very robust system.
It is. It's meant to really, set everything up as much as possible in one place. And like I was talking about with a client today, because we're built specifically for the industry and not necessarily for a particular type of event company, this allows you the flexibility as plans for your business change. You want to maybe lean into doing a little bit more rentals than balloons, or if balloons takes off, lean more into that. We're flexible enough to mold with your business as you grow.
Awesome.
Here on our projects page, I just was gonna point out kind of two last things. Good Shuffle Pro has really turned reporting upside down. So in a lot of traditional softwares, on the reports page is a laundry list of 1,001 reports that you can run. With Good Shuffle Pro, we give you access to all of the data points you may want to track on a particular client or event, and allow you to build this page here where you can conveniently follow up with clients. Maybe quotes that I've sent out that are my biggest opportunities, right? Bring those to the top of my list. And I can see when the last time I sent the client a follow-up message and when they opened that message. Right away, I can also snap to, okay, of my signed contracts that are going out in the next week, who still owes me money? And then I can sort those by the remaining balances and make sure I'm calling this guy that owes me nearly 8,000 before I'm calling this guy that owes me 500. So while Good Shuffle Pro gives payment reminders to your clients, and all of our folks have seen a dramatic reduction in that money outstanding in AR, this is also giving you the tools to quickly access information that you need to help you prioritize your day and ultimately make sure nothing slips through the cracks.
Just that people are commenting that this is awesome software.
Oh, I love to hear it. I wish I could take credit for it. We have a extremely talented tech team, all based here in the United States. They work really closely with us on the sales team and our customer success team as they continue to roll out new features for the product. But one thing that they have done consistently, and I don't know how they do it, Joette, because our software gets ever more powerful, yet we keep hearing from clients time and again how intuitive it is and how people are just like, wow, I know where to click. And that is all credit to our product team.
Awesome. So are there some other things you were wanting to show us in your presentation, or are you at questions?
I I think we've covered a lot. There is certainly more to dive into, but I don't want this to be information overload. I encourage a couple of different paths from here. I can hang on for a little while longer and answer some questions as they come up. Please feel free to chat those in. And I also wanted to offer folks to set up some time with me one-on-one to book a follow-up. This way we can dive into some of your more unique needs. I know that every company is set up a little bit different, either, based on pricing or based on, the size of their team. So this QR code will take you to my direct calendar. You can book 20 minutes with me. Tell me a little bit about more of your process and things that you may be interested in. So Joette, are you going to tell everyone how to use it?
Yep. So everybody just pick up your phone right now, take a picture of the screen. And as you go to take a picture of the screen, it's just like when you go to every restaurant now that has a menu,
Yeah.
has a QR code, and it'll come right up on your phone for you to be able to book an appointment with Mallory. So go ahead and grab your phone now and take
Perfect. You
that
can
picture.
also, if you're old school, want to grab my email, I've included that below. And I'll also, Joette, in the chat, drop a link to my calendar. So if folks don't have their phones handy, I, of course, want everyone to be able to
Yes.
access that as well.
Excellent. So yeah, and her email, Mallory@goodshufflepro.com. So Mallory, I really appreciate you being on with us today. What I'm going to do is share my screen for just a minute while people are thinking about those last minute questions that take them a
Great.
minute to think about, right? So for
Perfect.
those of you who are on live, two things that happen is what we'll do is answer your questions. If you type them into the chat, she can answer any other questions for you for the next couple of minutes. But if you guys are new to BalloonCoach.com and haven't heard about me, go to my website, BalloonCoach.com, and check out all the awesome tools that we offer for you for online and in-person training. I do like to let people know that I am going on tour typically every summer. My husband's a teacher, so it allows us to be away. So if you happen to be in one of these areas or would like to drive to it or fly in, I've had people fly in for my classes. I would love to see you guys in Atlanta, Georgia on June 1st, in Nashville, Tennessee on June 2nd, in St. Charles, Missouri on June 6th, Baxter, Minnesota on June 10th, or Naperville, Illinois, the Chicagoland area on June 16th. And what's exciting is in Nashville, Atlanta, and Naperville, Gary Ledbetter is available to bend frame for you if you order in advance. So just want to let you guys know that I am traveling this summer. If you guys are wanting to come network with some other balloon professionals, get your hands on some balloons. But if you just need online support and help, I encourage you to come and check out our mastermind program. You have access to other great mentors and information similar to what Mallory was sharing today and other parts of the industry, from bookkeeping to search engine optimization and so much more. So if you are struggling or you're doing so great that you're overwhelmed and need help and support, I'd love to help you guys in that journey. So BalloonCoach.com is there for you 24/7 to help you take that next step. So let's see if there's anybody else on today that has a question for Mallory. And if not, what will happen is I'll turn off the recording, and for any live training I ever do, I always open it up for some live Q&A afterwards that's off topic too. So this is my last call out for my folks who are on live with us watching right now. If you have another specific question that you know other people would want to know the answer to, go ahead and type that in. But I think Mallory has done an amazing job. So for those of you watching the replay, you can go and watch the previous training that she did on my YouTube channel under 5 mistakes that people commonly make that are in the events industry on their website. So check out for that other video if you're watching this as a replay. Mallory, thank you so much for your time and showing us how people can get a hold of you in the future. I know a lot of people are going to be looking into having that demo, that 2-week free demo, to see if this is the right thing for them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And also, we will guide you through that trial step by step. So, encourage everyone to jump in and start poking around. You'll feel how easy and approachable the software is. And of course, we have that unlimited training and support to back you up and make sure you've got everything checked out along the way.
Great. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, Joette.
So the
So,
question was
if
asked how people could add a picture into something that they're sending out. And so Mallory is showing us how that works.
Yeah, so there's a couple things, like if you have a balloon garland, like we were talking about, where it's kind of predetermined that, hey, this pricing is going to be made off of like a price per foot, the balloon fill and construction, and I want to add photos of the particular balloons that we're adding, I can have them here ready to add just really quickly. And if you want that to drive up the cost, you can set it up to do so that way, or you can have that as just on the side as like, hey, this belongs with this type of item, but it's not going to drive up the price. So if you want that 13-foot garland to show, to say, hey, that 13-foot garland is going to include these, several photos, you can do that. Alternatively, for any like creations that you're building on the go, you can add custom, not inventory, you can add custom line items as well, where you can drop those packages in there. So if I had a client that sent me this inspiration photo, I can go ahead and let me March. Let's drag and drop a photo or two in here. I can create that mini lookbook or gallery here and then pick particular colors. So if a client is saying, hey, I really loved these, arches that I saw online, but we're going to have a baby boy, so let's swap out the colors. Great. I may say this is the baby boy balloon arch in blue, and then go ahead and build out the specific recipe. And that you'll pull from your inventory. So I'll go in to add here. I can search my balloons and then put, we're doing our specific quantities. Is this what you were looking for, Tabitha?
Well, she actually just inflates the balloons, snaps a picture, and sends it to them. Typically.
Okay.
So, like, is there somewhere just that, like, if she can send some kind of email communication to them with an image?
Yeah. I mean, you can also, drop those pictures in the messages tab too, but I would, especially the colors that folks often have questions on, I would go ahead and add those from your inventory. That way they just live there and you don't even have to take that step of
So it would
taking the time out of your
automatically
day
show
to
them
fill it
those
every time.
photos at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. But if you want to just send her a message to say, hey, here's what, are you sure this is the hot pink is hot pink? You can also, send it through the project chat and that will email the client directly.
Cool. I'm going to stop recording.